What's up, guys? So we got Max here. He sells in the fitness industry. So I want to just let him kind of take the floor here and walk through a little bit about what his offer is, what he sells exactly, and just like a little bit about him. So go ahead.
All right. So I'm in the fitness space. I do one-on-one coaching. I'm a high ticket fitness. So before joining the program, I've been in different mentorships, I should say, never any illicit for sales. So it was always like in my back of my mind where it's like, this is a skill that I have to master. It's a skill that you can translate to every aspect of your life. And before the program, I was kind of sitting around this income plateau where I was just fluctuating. I'm just like getting my reoccurring and then, maybe a deal on top of that. And I was just leaving a lot of money on the table. And it was interesting, seeing the videos on Instagram. This was right around the time Johnny was starting to blow up a little bit. Seemed like a cool dude. I'm watching into and everything. And what piqued my interest specifically was pre-handling objections. It's something that I've never heard of before. I've never implemented on any of my sales calls and really made me think. And I'm like looking through my old sales notes. I'm looking at all these conversations, like listening to the recordings. And I was just wondering, like, what would have been different or like, how could this call turned out differently if I would have been able to pre-handle the objection. So that was obviously the number one thing that I wanted to learn how to do, but also too, just the objection handling as well. It's like, you can always get better, I should say, at handling your objections. And I just didn't have the training. I didn't have the framework and I just didn't understand, how to go about doing objections differently. So those are the two things that I was looking for to get out of the mentorship. And John covered every single base, like probably one of the best investments I've ever made. And the way that everything is all set, like you will only fail if you just don't do the work. There's so many different things. You've got the core, you've got John, you've got Gavin, the other team member. I think you guys have like 11 weekly calls. Like it's crazy. Like I don't know if anyone else in the high ticket sales space is offering that kind of value. And you literally you show up. You can show up to all of them. You can show up to none of them and get no results. Or, you can go there, you can be present, you can ask a shitload of questions. And like, that was the commitment that I made. I spent this much money on this mentorship. I'm going to show up. I'm going to ask questions. I'll be the annoying guy if I have. And you can just get that direct feedback where it's like, some people are always hesitant, like the group coaching or like, it's not that one-on-one where like some people are like, oh, I want that one-on-one. I want them to be looking at my calls and doing that shit. Where it's like, even though this isn't technically one-on-one mentor, you're still getting that one-on-one support. You're going to the calls, you're raising, asking questions, role playing call recordings. It's like whatever you need to help you get to that next level, like John is there to help. And, the first month in the program, it's like he said it and it's like I assumed it would happen. It's like your sales are going to dip. So it's like in my mind, I'm getting frustrated a little bit. I'm like, fuck, I've been dealing with this income plateau and now things are dipping a little bit. But sure shit, this month just hit a record month. I'm about to hit 10K for the first time ever. And it's just fucking crazy. It's like I feel so much more confident on my sales calls now. Like it's not like I'm just like married to the script. It's like I'm understanding the psychology of it now. Like, why am I asking this question? What am I looking for at this phase of the call? Like, why am I asking this prospect these questions? It's, you're getting them to realize that their way of thinking is flawed and that has got them to be in the position that they're at today. And you got to start getting them to think like the person that they want to be. And it's the same shit where for people like us, it's like everyone has their own option. And the reason that you're getting into a mentorship is because the current situation that you're at right now, you're not with, and you want to make this. And in order to get something in life that you've never done or had, you're going to have to do things you've never done. And for me, it was this mentorship. I never pulled the trigger on figuring out how to advance my sales and, the psychology behind it. And yeah, it's not easy. It's never easy. I was spending hours a week, that's 11 hours a week just on, not to mention, listening to calls over, going through the notes, fixing your scripts. Like that's a huge time commitment that not a lot of people are willing to put it. But I can promise you that if you put them in, you're going to get the results. Like this program everything is set up. It's
dude, I appreciate it. And it's funny how it plays out like that. Cause dude, at this point, it's pretty obvious. Like it's like at first information overload crap. This is like all stuff.
Yeah.
You're like, and now when you join, you're in like the uninformed optimism stage of like, oh, pre-hand, like it's easy. I'll get it done and we'll do it. And then you get how in depth it goes and you're like, okay, this will take the time. And then fight that you like get out of the valley of despair after month one, and then things start going up. It's how it happens every single time with everyone here. For you, like in terms of numbers, close rate, like everything that you share, what were you doing for program? Like in terms
of stats, I would say I was probably closing between 20 to like 30% a month. But like cash collected, my recurring when I joined was around half. And my income plateau was around like 5K. My recurring would go up a little bit, then it would go down. Those are all back end things, retention and things like that, obviously that you guys can help with, but that goes. But on the sales side of it, it's like, I was just constantly around that 5.5. Maybe I touched 6. Like I touched 9K last September. just with like a bunch of client re-signs. That was like, I knew I could again, just it took a lot more I wanted, but I'm just about to cross 10K time ever. My close percent is hovering around like 40 the second month. That it's like, aside from like, sometimes like the sales closing percentage won't be there, but it's like the confidence calls, it's like having the framework and just having better systems. That's what it came down to, where it's nothing. I mean, I guess you could make the argument that my last script that I was using, there were thing with it, but going from that script to like I completely overhauled, I did everything different day one, the whole script, and that's a whole learning career. But it's like on the other side of the hard work, figuring that shit out, and give your own way, is like that's when the close percent is going to go up. That's when you're going to be collecting more cash. Where it's like different for me because I'm not closing for someone else, so I collect all the cash. Fucking nice. And it's also just, a byproduct of me being able to change lives. But in the aspect of other people that are, collecting, like you got to have the framework, you got to have the script, you got psychology, and, who better to have in your corner than John, helping you on these calls and telling you what to do and just giving you that on feedback.
Yeah. And then for that, it's like you now have like closing at 40%. Now it's just a matter of how can you get more calls booked on the calendar, which is on like the marketing side. And at that point, that's when you can just rip that to the moon, and then you're crushing. So amazing. But before, okay, so you were doing about 25%. Now you're doing about 45%, doubled the, did you invest into like other programs before this, or is this, I know it's the first sales program, but have you been an avid before this point?
Yeah, so I've been a PT Dom, like that's just specifically for like the fitness industry, like since there. I've done some content mentorships. I did one other fitness mentorship and I got absolutely burned. So yeah, I've been avidly investing into the business. So like, yeah, I mean, it was definitely scary. It's like they tell you, you're like, oh, scarcity, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, fuck it. It's like, you just got to go all in. And it's like, first month I joined it, I made all the money back. So I was like, oh, cool.
Bro, so besides pre-handling, what other things do you feel like made the biggest difference in you doubling the close rate and doubling the revenue?
I think honestly the different objection tracks, because it's like every objection you get, I mean, like, yeah, it's going to stem down to time, money, so fear. But like fear, I think was the biggest one because fitness is huge. It's like these people have been stuck in this position forever and they can't see that other side. And you have to get them to convince, change. So I think being able to identify and understand, like, when they act, what they say, that there's so many different routes, so many different reframes to tailor to that exact, I guess, excuse that you give there, rather than just trying to handle every single objection the exact same, like the NLP and different ways to switch things around, grabbing a little bit from here, from there, rise them all. It's like just opens up a whole different world of opportunities at that point.
Yeah, 100%. And I know, like, I don't want to assume, but you getting on calls now as to before joining, how has confidence level changed with you handling it to people sales setting?
Oh, way more. It's like, now I'm taking my calls standing up, and I couldn't believe that something that's such a big difference. But even, just it's like that. But just like knowing it's like, if you've done the script enough, it's like you've memorized it at this point. It's like you don't need to follow it all the way. It's like now you're just understanding the psychology where it's like you don't even need to read the script. You just understand what you're trying to get them to say or what you're trying to get guys at that moment. And like the confidence around that has been everything, where it's like I'm not in my script, where it's like just.
And then like for you, is a thing you would say to people out there? Obviously, you're an avid investor into yourself, but there are a lot of people out there that they try to handle other people's, but they can't get over their own. And what would you say to those people who are maybe scared to take the leap?
Yeah, so it's interesting, when that perspective gets brought up, because it's like at the end, everyone that's coming in here is coming in to learn sales, to overconnections, to make more money. But it's like if you're on a phone call with someone and you get a prospect to drop 5, 6, 7, 10, $15,000 for, but you don't even have the confidence in yourself to invest in XYZ, it's like, couldn't you see the contradicting that? Like, how are you going to get someone to push them over the line and even push yourself? It's like the ego is the biggest thing that holds people back from seeing the success that they want. And it's like you feel your ego and realize that, there's a reason you're on the call figuring out if you want to get in the mentor, because you're not happy with where you're at. So I guess it's really down to asking yourself, like, how comfortable are you staying in this exact position, making money, and realizing that you're not at your full potential. You got a life you want to live, you want to support people, help your family out, your partner, was like sales is going to be the vessel that's going to get you to get to that spot in life so you can live the fulfilling life, financial freedom. And it's like, if you can't throw an objection to invest money into a program that's going to help you make money, it's like maybe you're just not meant to do it. You're just cool just sitting there. And that's just something you got to live with.
Yeah, bro, that's just the hard truth. And it's funny because whenever I run these interviews with people, they start riffing off all the objection handles they've been learning, and I just love it. It's like breaking the fourth wall in this. It's so funny to me, dude. I appreciate you hopping on here. Do you want to shout out your socials and like where can people find you? If they want to get some help with their fitness as well. Like obviously, dude's jacked. He knows a lot about fitness. So
yeah, so I'm primarily on IG. If you just look up Maximus.Raminger, I mean, if you just look up Maximus, you should see it. It's a blue profile picture. But yeah, you guys got any question? You're trying to get jacked, you're trying to get shredded, you know where to find me.
You might get sold, but you might hand the credit card over, but that's what it's all about. So yeah, dude, I appreciate you hopping on here. I really appreciate your time in the program, you investing in us and you giving us that trust. And yes, sir.
Absolutely, man. Thank you, bro.
Yes, sir. All right. Peace out, dude.